Let's go! Hello everyone, welcome to Chesspoint. Today we discuss about the Queen's Gambit opening and its variation and history. So first of all, we see Queen's Gambit and the starting position of Queen's Gambit. The Queen's Gambit is one of the oldest and most reputable opening. So his first move of white is d4. Unlike e4 opening, the Queen's Gambit usually evolves in strategic game rather than all-out tactical battle. Despite being around for centuries, this opening is still one of the cornerstones of every elite players. It's also an excellent choice for the beginners and intermediate players. So here the starting position of Queen's Gambit. The first move of white is d4, and here black plays d5, and white second move who started the Queen's Gambit is c4. So here white's second move attacks d5 pawn, increasing control over the center. If black decides to take a pawn with d cut c4, white will have successfully deflected one black central pawns to the board's win. Despite its name, the Queen's Gambit does not quite gambit a pawn since black cannot really hang on to the extra pawn safely. So here it's benefit of Queen's Gambit opening, fights to control the center. It puts immediate pressure on black, gains space, and its consultant is white may have to spend the time getting the pawn back, less attacking chances against the black king, and black may aim to counter attack with d4. So here the Queen's Gambit starting position, and here the variations of Queen's Gambit. So black can meet Queen's Gambit by capturing the white c4 pawn, Queen's Gambit accepted, or trying to hold on their d5 pawn, Queen's Gambit decline, and Slav Defense. Numerous variations of branch out from the each of those variations. So first we see Slav Defense variation. So first move is d4, d5, c4, and here black plays c6. So this is the Slav Defense variation. The Slav Defense is the most popular variation against c4. Black declines the gambit and reinforces the central d4 pawn with c6. Black avoids looking the light square bishop inside the pawn chain like in Queen's Gambit decline. The Slav Defense has large amount of theory and is considered a different opening on its own. So here we see after this move what white play next. So next move is knight f3 or c cut d5 is also a good move. So if you are starting, you take knight c3 also. Knight c3, knight f3, various moves here. So knight f3 is a good move also. And if you not play knight f3, you also play knight c3. After this, black evolves is also pieces knight f6. There is chances of c cut d5, but if you ignore this, you simply generated your pieces or evolve your pieces. So knight cut f3 is also a good move, and here black cut c4. e4 is also a good move, or e3 is also a good. But we play e4. e4 is far better than e3 at this position. So here black plays b5 and attacking and saving the c4 pawn, and queen c2 and attacking the king side by queen, and here e6, bishop e2 is also good move, or bishop e2 is good move. So bishop e2, knight bishop b7. Here you see that the position is for white is attacking the king side, and black is also following that, and it's also attacking the white king side. So here the 0-0 of white, and bishop e7. So this is the Slav defense opening for white in Queen's Gambit. After this we have a second variation. Black most played option is Queen's Gambit decline. Black does not take the white pawn on c4 and instead reach their center with e6. So here I play the move d4, d5, c4 and e6. So here the another solid option for black. This choice has the downside of placing a pawn on light square bishop way. Black's plan usually involves counter attacking white d4 pawn with the c7 and c5 push. So in the most cases one of the player accepted creating structural weakness for dynamic compensation, such as taking the initiative or braving a powerful attack. So here we see Queen's Gambit declined after this moves. So next we see white what to do. Knight f3 is a good move. Here comes c5 or c6. If we place c5, here c cut d5, e cut d5, bishop in open file of bishop g5, bishop e7. If we cutted bishop e7, white get advantage of black most powerful bishop. If black plays knight f6, so here the chances of black cut f6 or queen cut f6, and white get knight f3, bishop e6, e5, d cut e4. Here white plays a good move is bishop b5 check. He block with knight c6, queen a4. You see how white attacking the queen side also diagonally attack the king side. So this is the Queen's Gambit decline. If black decline this opening, you play this opening. So next we see the third and last variation of Queen's Gambit is Queen's Gambit accepted. If in Queen's Gambit accepted, the Queen's Gambit accepted can be safe way of planning against c4. If black knows what to do after taking the pawn with c cut d4, black should not try to hold on to it, but instead focus on developing their pieces while white recapture the pawn. Here we move it with d4, d5, c4, and black plays accepted the Queen's Gambit and d cut c4. So black like square bishop, which is usually a problem in Queen's Gambit decline, usually finds a good spot on b7 or g4. In this variation, black will also try to focus or force white to accept an isolated d pawn, which could become a target. So here we see after what white do in next move. So next move for white is knight f3 is always a good move for Queen's Gambit opening. So here we not play knight f3, we pushes the e3 pawn. E3 pawn in this position is good because bishop cut c4 and knight f3, knight c3, queen c2, bishop d2 or bishop b2 is good move. But after this, black also plays e6, and if e6 black plays, knight f3 is also good move. If you think bishop not b5 to protect the c4 pawn, in intermediate or beginners also try to save their pawns or pieces in starting. So there is chances of beginners or intermediate players who pushes the b5 pawn to protect the c4 pawn. So here you get a chance to attack on black. So you push a4. If he pushes b4, you simply here what we play knight d2, also a bishop cut c4 is also a good move. Here black tries to knight f3 to develop his knight f6 to develop his pieces. Here white also tried to knight piece development with knight d2. So you see how white gained their position, and if you play after this position, there is a chances of white for winning, or if you don't try this moves or mistake in this opening, you get repaid this opening. So if you learn this opening, then you try in matches or games. So we know how to play Queen's Gambit, but also here we talk about how to play against the Queen's Gambit, because many players also play Queen's Gambit. Here black what to play against the Queen's Gambit. So let's start. The Queen's Gambit is a expectational opening for white, and the well prepared players should get more than satisfying result if it held. Still, black can find some counterplay and reach balanced positions in many lines. Even if white plays with prescience, below are three variations that should help you face the Queen's Gambit. Here what we see before, Queen's Gambit accepted. Even though the Queen's Gambit accepted has reputation of sometimes leading to stale position. This is one of the best scoring variation for black. Black of the more than 23,000 games in our masters database, black wins 25%, draws 38% and loses 38%. So, and next black also plays the variation of Slav Defense. If you had rather decline the Gambit, Slav Defense is good option. Here we see what is a Slav Defense. So first move is d4, d5, c4 and c6. This opening is good for also black, because here you not accepted the Queen's Gambit, so you also develop your pieces and attacking the king side of the white. So if white get mistake and blunders, then black charge full power with and full pieces which attack the king side. So despite its heavy theory, this defense will gives you solid position even if you learn just the basics of it. Black wins 21% of games with Slav, draws 39% and loses 40%. And next is what we see, the variations of Albin Countergambit. This is new for you, Albin Countergambit. If you prefer sharper position, the Albin Countergambit might be good choice for you. Black responds to white pawn offer with e5, offering a gambit themselves. So we see here second move for white is e5. So here we see that d cut e5 is good move, but how we see black is here started. This move can lead to wild position and hidden traps, so white must know how to respond accurately. You should note that masters do not typically go for this line since it's too risky. With accurate play, white should have no problem building a considerable advantage. Still, the Albin Countergambit is one of the best scoring lines among the non-professional players. Here we see what white play, d cut e5, bishop e6, c cut d5, queen cut d5, queen cut d5, bishop cut d5, knight knight c3, bishop e6, a3, knight c6. Here we see that this is a positional or open game for both sides, white and black. Here the black get disadvantages, but in middle game you get see that how black good their position. So here this the openings of Queen's Gambit and its variation. If you try this in opening in a game or matches in tournaments, you get result. But if you go in tournament with this opening, you first of all try to understand what is Queen's Gambit and how it works. You get analyze your games in Queen's Gambit. You play online or whatever you play, you get analyze this. So I tell you some best players of the world also plays this game. So first I get tell you that where or which year Queen's Gambit invented. The Queen's Gambit is one of the oldest opening in chess. Its earliest record comes from the Gatton manuscript written circa 1490. Later master Salvio and Greco analyzed the opening in the first part of the 17th century. However, it was not until the 1890s that the master started including d4 in their respect. Positional play became more prominent by the end of 19th century, bringing more attention to the Queen's Gambit. By the beginning of 20th century, the opening became very prominent among the elite players. In fact, the opening became so popular that chess legend Alexander Alekhine and Jose Raul Capablanca played in 32 out of 34 games of their 1920 World Championship match. And the Queen's Gambit continues to be extremely popular among the elite players today. Of the top 10 players in the world, 8 of them have Queen's Gambit as one of their most played opening as a white. There is GM Magnus Carlsen, Ding Liren, Levin Aronian, Anis Guri, Alexander Groschek, Wesley Shaw, and many more players plays this Queen's Gambit. So next time we see some games in this Gambit, Queen's Gambit. So thank you and bye.